10 modern U.S. Army soldiers and vehicles stand defiantly at the end of a bridge defense. On the other side of said bridge defense is 10 million Roman legionnaires, centurions, praetorian guards, archers, catapults, and more types of soldiers ready to charge across and take on the modern U.S. Army. These U.S. soldiers are stalling for backup, and once said backup comes, they'll have a real defense against these Roman soldiers coming forward. But for now, they're all they've got. So here come the Roman troopers charging on forward. We've got CWSs firing out with their auto cannons. We've got an M1A2 Abrams right there. We've got a multitude of different U.S. Army soldiers here, all created by the modder Jamie D. We've got M4A4s, M249s, we've got DMRs, shotguns, etc., etc. These troopers are trying to fire away, but they're quickly getting overrun by the multitudes of Roman troopers death charging forward and beginning to slice and dice against the U.S. Army defenses. I think all infantry soldiers at this point are already dead, and now it's just up to the vehicles. The CWS gets toppled by the Roman troopers right there. The missile system as well as the Abrams are still alive, still getting kills, but getting hacked and slashed as they go. They likely are not going to be long for this world. However, their sacrifice is going to allow the U.S. reinforcements to come in, take back the bridge, and do a real defense against the Roman soldiers. Either way, if you guys do enjoy this video, please be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment down below. Now, we are at 443 dead Romans and 2 remaining U.S. vehicles. So let's time-lapse this final stand. Well, those vehicles died pretty quick after. 1,300 kills for the U.S. Army soldiers. Now, let's bring in their reinforcements. Right, lads, now we've got the real challenge before us. Machine gunners stand on the bridge itself. Behind them, they have M1 Abrams, and behind those, we have backup M4A4 soldiers. To the left, we have marksman snipers ready to shoot across the river at the oncoming Romans. And to their right, we have CWSs doing the exact same thing. Further behind, we have our last stand boys back here, additional modern U.S. Army soldiers, and they are also protecting the missile systems up on this hillside over here. To their right, we have our flank supporters. We've got 2 units over here, 1 shotgun unit as well as 1 M4 unit over here, and they're going to protect from flanks of these bridges over here. In total, we have 18,500 U.S. Army troopers, and they're fighting against 7 million Romans this time around. So, let's go ahead, press start, and see how we end up doing in this brutal defense right here. Already tons of fire going out. They're probably going to get millions of kills before they start losing massive swaths of U.S. Army soldiers. But I almost guarantee you they will be taking some horrible losses during this battle, especially when the archers and the catapults, which are further back on the map, start coming forward, because those guys will tear through the U.S. infantry. The vehicles will be a little bit of a different problem because they are so sturdy, have great armor in this game, but U.S. infantry better get many kills on the Roman infantry before their support weapons end up coming up. However, the U.S. is actually doing pretty well right now. They are taking a few swings, especially these very far ahead machine gun units over here. You can see they're getting bloodied from their battle wounds already, but they are just mowing down the oncoming Romans, but they just keep coming and they won't stop coming because they are hitting them so unbelievably hard in the front lines right here. Look at the CWSs though. Holy cow, these are just murder machines. You can also see the missile system shots coming in from a distance and doing large-scale impacts, probably getting 50 kills per shot with those bad Larrys. Absolutely insane. We've also got the backup support fire of the marksmen and additional machine gunners over here from across the river, and these guys are probably softening up the early Roman soldiers, weakening them so the machine gunners on the bridge itself have a little bit easier of a time. Look at those explosions striking out there. This is so sick, so picturesque, bro. All right, we better check on the flank because I'm sure there will be flankers coming up. And yes, indeed, there are. It looks like we've got some Roman legionnaires coming forward over here. Look at these modded Romans. They look so good, but they are getting absolutely trashed by bullets piercing through their armor right now. The Bronze Era isn't treating them too good, I will say. They are having a tough go at it. Actually, I think they had iron at this point, right? The Bronze Era was earlier, I think. I don't know. I don't know an awful lot about ancient history, to be honest, but let me know in the comments if I'm totally wrong about that. I could be. I very well could be. Look at that. That dude made it pretty far before getting shot down. Every once in a while, a soldier will just push through and actually get some swings on the U.S. troopers. But for now, this flank is not amounting to much for the Romans, but that constant pressure could eventually lead to a collapse on this flank over here. The missile system's getting good work in. I mean, look at this. They're just spamming out fire every which way. Looks like one of those cool, like, Cold War movie tactical maps where you see all of the different nuclear missiles getting launched across the screen. That's kind of what this looks like here, except thankfully these aren't nuclear missiles, or else the Romans would really have some trouble. We do have nuclear missile systems in the game. They're pretty powerful. They're not OP. They're not like the actual nukes in the game. They're like mini nukes, kinda. But they're still very deadly and very problematic, let's just say. Seawiz is over here. Actually, somehow Romans got over here. Are there any in the water? There's a few in the water. Either those Romans got blown up and launched across the river into the Sea Whizzes over this way, or potentially they spawned in the water or ran through the water, all of which is kind of weird, kind of sus. We do have a small machine gun section way up front over here that is getting diced up by the oncoming Romans. I have a feeling these guys probably not super long for this world. As we're watching, they're getting chopped to bits and stuff like that, but they're causing nice distractions and at least getting some kills. There's also a few stragglers out here across the bridge, but pretty soon we'll be getting into the actual bridge defense itself, where it is truly going to be make it or break it time for these U.S. Army soldiers here, where we're going to get a nice choke point defense, hopefully, and they can really hold out. Let's move back and see where the archers start coming in on this battlefield. All sorts of different Romans, though, each with different health and different stats and things like that. We've got our archers way back here with the pointy hats, and then the catapults are even further back over this way, but they might come on the flank first, actually, which would be interesting to see. So it does seem like there is going to be quite some time before the catapults and archers do get to the front lines. So that's good for the U.S., bad for the Romans, but once those do end up coming up here, it could be a disaster for the U.S. troopers. Look at this. This is just absolutely gorgeous. Why don't we do our first time lapse of the bridge right here and watch as she holds against the oncoming Romans. 655 modern U.S. Army soldiers have died and 231,000 Romans have died. This is going to be a beautiful overhead. What's up, gamers? I'm here to tell you about Instant Gaming. Instant Gaming is an amazing place where you can get some fire deals on all sorts of video games. Seriously, it's like 60 to 95% off, as you can see here. These are all of the Star Wars titles they have. They literally have every Star Wars title. You can also get XCOM here, Men of War Assault Squad 2. All of the games I play on the channel you can buy here for extremely cheap prices. If you use my affiliate link in the description, it helps me out a ton. So thank you guys for listening to this sponsorship, and thank you to Instant Gaming for continuing to sponsor the channel. In 7 minutes, we have easily gone past the 1 million dead Roman soldiers point, I guess. They are, in fact, on the bridge. However, most of the backup fire is supporting the machine gunners on the bridge as well, and they're not really able to cross over fully just yet. They're getting kill by kill, so they're making some progress. And in fact, the U.S. Army has lost 2,600 total soldiers, and they're losing soldiers pretty quickly, so I think maybe the flank is compromised. Yes, the flank is becoming a bit of a disaster zone, and you can see the catapult shots coming in are what's really doing them in. Look at this missile shot. Dang, son! That was a snipe! Yeah, the catapults coming in here are definitely devastating. However, catapults are extremely weak. They only have 500 health apiece, and the machine gun fire, can shoot extremely far, so you're seeing a few catapults getting knocked down early on here, but even still, the catapults are managing to get some serious kills. There's only 10,000 of them on the battlefield total, so it's not like a crazy amount need to be pushed through for the US to eliminate them. However, this is the real danger of the battle, is the infantry charge supported by catapult fire is a devastating combo against the modern army here. And of course, the fact that there are just droves and droves of Romans coming forward makes it doubly hard to make any progress through their lines and get tons of kills or anything like that. The US is definitely going to be in a little bit of shambles for a little bit here. These shotgun units and assault rifle units are banding together to try and stop the Roman menace from continuing forward, but the catapult shots are devastating. The missile systems are very important to keep alive. As we can see, they soften up the back lines. I mean, any stray shots that go into these catapults, I'm sure are one-tapping them, I bet they're getting tons of kills on catapults over here. Yep, they are. You can see some broken down catapults in there and stuff. So these missile system shots hitting out here are very, very devastating. To the catapults, to the archers, to the Roman soldiers, everything is taking hits back here and resulting in a lot of damage for them. So keeping those missile systems alive long term is essential to defending the bridge defense here. I mean, this is one of their top killers. Definitely one of the top killers. So these U.S. Army soldiers gotta hold tight, because the other defenses for the missile systems are beyond this hill here. And then, of course, if they're defeated, then this entire area is compromised potentially, and a huge flank will ensue. Right now, these guys are doing a bang-up job of defending the bridge itself here and keeping the Romans at bay. But if their flank falls, likely they will fall quickly after. So we have 5.6 million Romans remaining and 11,321 U.S. Army soldiers remaining. It's looking good over here, but it's looking very bad over this way. So let's watch the Romans death charging in here and charging the missile systems, because it looks like the catapults are coming forward one way or another. Okay, this is very not good. The missile systems are all but dead already as the catapults cut across the side here. They're trying to withstand the Romans and the catapult shots that are hitting them on top of this hillside, but they will be going down very soon. And now catapult shots are hitting some of these US soldiers beyond. That's very not good. And some of these marksmen over here are also taking losses due to the incoming catapult shots. So, just like we thought, they started by getting millions of kills on these Romans, and now that the catapults are engaging and the bridge defense is getting flanked, I think things are going to get so much harder for the US here. This might just end up being an L right off the bat for them, and we're going to probably have to buff their lines, because right now they're getting hard flanked over there. Their front line's still doing fine, but the catapults coming in the sides here and everything else is going to prove difficult. So let's watch from this angle, because now we can see the catapult shots going in the top left. We can see the bridge defense and the flank in the back. I don't think it's going to end well. Well, the U.S. is still in this thing now. Their bridge defense is in shatters, though, because of those catapults. Looks like a lot of their Abrams are dead. Some are still alive, but the catapults did make semi-quick work of them. Sea Whizzes are still firing away, and there are still U.S. Army soldiers, but it is looking bad. It is looking very, very bad. We've got 4.9 million Romans remaining and 6,000 U.S. Army soldiers. Let's just play it till the end and then buff the Americans, because I think this bridge fortress defense ain't working. Well, there we go. Romans get the first W. Well, I guess this is the second W. 4.7 million of them remain. Let's buff the U.S. Alright, lads, we now have 32,000 U.S. Army soldiers, and pretty much the only thing we changed is we revamped their flank. So, we have 50 more missile systems now, and their backup soldiers are now behind them, so any Romans charging them can get shot from behind. We've also got our second bridge defense now of these guys over here in hopes that the flank doesn't come to fruition as quickly, and then we've got more soldiers on this line point here to fire out across. But this bridge defense is remaining the exact same as last time because it seemed to work. The only real problem was the flanking. So we're hoping that this bridge can hold yet again without the troopers behind them over here, because I don't think they were really doing anything last time beyond the missile systems. And then the flank should hopefully now be secured. Now, there's no one guarding the flank's flank, so Romans could come across these bridges way out there and cut across this way, but I guess we're just kind of hoping that doesn't really come to fruition, or they can hold them back. But at the very least, the most immediate bridge next to the main defense is secured now somewhat, and those catapults and archers will still be coming forward and dealing a lot of damage, but hopefully with them having to cross this choke point with soldiers on the other end of it, it will be less damaging overall. Also, the additional missile systems should hopefully help us out tremendously as well. They're already getting a ton of spam fire out there, so they're doing a bang-up job, baby. But, you know, obviously, more could be done. Always more could be done. This is a bad battle for our defenders, boys. A bad battle. But this bridge, at the very least, is not having any of these Romans cross over just yet. Look at this. They're just getting absolutely slaughtered by the American troops on the other side of things right over there. That is beautiful. So why don't we go ahead and time-lapse right here and watch this new bridge defense, and hopefully they can hold out. We're already up to 70,000 kills for the U.S. and 193 kills for the Romans. Oh, it's going to be a tough one. Okay, 10 minutes later, no, 20 minutes later. I lost track of time. We're still holding, and actually, 4.8 million Romans remaining, so we are holding much better this time. In fact, I would dare say we're actually holding this time, at least for now. We'll see how this goes in the moments to come. It could always go very, very poorly, but it seems like the catapults are a lot less effective because they're not just crossing the bridge immediately. Also, probably the increased missile systems is helping out tremendously as well, taking these guys out anytime they land pretty much anywhere near them, which is super duper helpful as well. So this is certainly helping tremendously. Oh, there are some flanking around this way, it looks like, actually. Okay, and they're slam doinking on some of these U.S. soldiers over here. That's not good, but still, the bridge is holding. Many more U.S. soldiers over here. This area, mostly untouched. Some of the guys down here have been hit pretty hard by some catapult fire, and that sucks. There's not a ton we can do about that. We just have to hope they can shoot down those catapults as quickly as possible, but beyond that, they're just kind of stuck there. Let's zoom on over here and check out this bridge, which seems to be holding delightfully well, might I say. Look at this. Look at this. Yeah, they're holding fantastically. Let's actually do a close-up over here of this bridge and the machine gunners holding against the Romans, charging them, because this is always a fun angle to go for, especially if we're doing a bridge defense. We want to actually see the bridge being defended. 4.6 million Romans remaining and 44,500 remaining U.S. soldiers. Well, it looks like a lot of the modern soldiers got beaten back over here, and it's probably due to this arrow fire that's currently coming in. You can see it in the sky right there, hitting a lot of these heavy machine gun, well, these are light machine guns, light machine gunners, and damaging them, and I think killing the soldiers in the front, weakening them so that the Roman soldiers can get less swings on them in order to kill. It makes it just a little bit easier. Luckily, the Sea Whizzes over here seem unscathed, which is good because they only have 500 health, so they're super easily killable. So only a few archer arrows could pretty easily destroy these Sea Whizzes with no problem at all. M1 Abrams over here still firing away, doing a bang-up job right now, as are these troopers, and the missile systems are still alive. So it seems like the assault over here isn't really working for the Romans. All of their catapults over here are dead, but then there's still some more over here on the hillside and down below this way. They are fully crossing the bridge now and getting into the flanks of the US, but it's not really too much to worry about, I would say. There's only 2 million Romans remaining, and there are still 30,000 U.S. Army soldiers. So let's do a nice overhead of the full battlefield here if we can, and just watch these guys fight it out. Things are continuing to go swimmingly for the U.S. Army now. They have 27,000 soldiers remaining, so they've only lost an additional 3,000 is the additional they lost since the last time we checked in, and the Romans only have 80,000 soldiers, so yeah, almost 7 million all dead on the battlefield now. We've got a little death charge going on over here, and that is about it. It is cleared up over this way. The catapults did manage to get quite a number of kills over here, but not enough to break through this time. Those additional soldiers that we placed on that bridge seem to have done the trick, and now it's just up to these guys to hold out till the bitter end, which seems inevitable here. So let's watch the final moments of this battle, but it seems like a guaranteed victory now, I must say. And there we have it, boys. The end of the battle. There's apparently 535 Romans floating around out here somewhere, but I honestly don't know where they are. They're probably stuck somewhere. Still 26,900 remaining U.S. Army soldiers. They did a wonderful job this time, but they did lose the first two. And the Romans still got a lot of kills. I don't know how these Roman soldiers got here in particular. Probably blew up and flew over here, but most of these deaths are probably from catapults or archer fire at the end of the day, and a lot of U.S. Army deaths over here. But other than that, they held steady. So if you guys do enjoy these Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator 2 battles, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment down below if you'd like to see some more. Also, huge shout out to Jamie D for making this mod. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Be sure to click that subscribe button for more content, and hit the notification bell if you'd like to be alerted to whenever I live stream or upload. Thanks so much.